with the star of Family Feud, Ray Combs.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got nowhere to be, just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds.
I'm here today in Hamilton, Ohio, which is just a smidge north of Cincinnati, to visit somebody I used to watch all the time as a kid. The best game show host ever, Ray Combs. So Ray Combs was born on April 3rd, 1956, and he was actually a stand-up comedian and an actor before he landed the job as game show host for Family Feud, which was actually its second run from 1988 to 1993. I remember being a kid, homesick, or on summers, watching Family Feud all the time with my grandmother. She watched it daily, religiously, Monday through Friday. And I remember Ray Combs very well. He was, I remember him just being kind of a short, bubbly guy, very funny, clean-shaven, great comedian, very witty. He was probably the best host in game show history. So he was born here in Hamilton, Ohio, April 3rd, 1956. He graduated in '74 from Garfield High School. And he became an actor. And he was a senior class president and a boys state delegate. He actually declined a nomination to be the United States Military Academy and served as a missionary from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for 2 years in Arizona. Ray began performing stand-up comedy at the Cincinnati Reds Dog Saloon. That's where he kind of developed his sing-alongs and a lot of his comedic attributes. So Ray wrote David Letterman asking for advice on how to jumpstart his comedy career, and Dave told him that he was better than most of the acts that he had seen on The Tonight Show. So Ray Combs left his job in Indianapolis as a furniture salesman, and he moved with his family to LA. He did well in a competition with more than 200 other young comedians and began doing audience warm-ups for the Golden Girls, The Facts of Life, and Amen back in the 80s. And he became very popular. This was back in the days when they would actually have up-and-coming comedians entertain live audiences for sitcoms. So at one of these comedic warm-ups, Johnny Carson heard the audience laughing uncontrollably at Ray Combs and invited him to perform on The Tonight Show in October of '86, and the audience gave him a standing ovation. And here is Raymond Neal Combs Jr., beloved son, brother, and father, April 3rd, 1956 to June 2nd, 1996. And he is buried here at the Greenwood Cemetery in Hamilton, Ohio, where he is from. Yeah, Ray Combs was kind of a pop culture icon. He got a 7-year contract to do that Family Feud show, which premiered on July 4th of 1988. And he made some guest appearances on Card Sharks and The Price is Right. And he made lots of other appearances. He was actually in some of the wrestling shows. He was a guest ring announcer at WrestleMania 8. He made a few appearances for WWF back then. He did several other TV appearances and other sports-related appearances all in the 80s and 90s. And then in July of '94, he was involved in a very serious car accident on the Ventura Freeway where he sustained an injury to his spine. I believe it was one of his spinal discs, which left him in very severe and constant pain. And this was a never-ending pain. And he also struggled with financial problems after 2 of his comedy clubs went into foreclosure. And then in September of 1995, he separated from his wife, Debbie, of 18 years, with whom he had had 6 children with. They attempted to reconcile, but later refiled for divorce, and it was actually never finalized. And then Ray made several attempts to resurrect his TV career. He actually taped a pilot for a talk show called The Ray Combs Show, but it was not picked up by any of the networks, unfortunately. He also hosted a Family Challenge on the Family Channel from 95 to 96 and made a few other appearances on the Game Show Network. So things started to go downhill for Ray, unfortunately, around this time. On June 1st of 96, the police were called to his home in Glendale, California, over reports of a disturbance. Combs had reportedly destroyed most of the inside of his house and had also been banging his head against the walls. On June 1st, 1996, the police were called to Ray Combs' house in Glendale, California. The neighbors had called in a disturbance, and Combs had apparently destroyed the inside of his house and was also banging his head against the walls in the house. And he later told police that he fell in the jacuzzi. And then shortly after the police arrived, his estranged wife, Debbie, arrived and informed them that Ray Combs was suicidal and he had spent the previous week in the hospital for a suicide attempt. He was taken by police to the Glendale Medical Center, where he was seen by a medical doctor and placed on a 22-hour psych observation hold. And then on June 2nd of 96, around 4:10 in the morning, hospital personnel had found Ray Combs hanging by his bed sheets in the closet of his room. He was taken to the ER and actually pronounced dead upon arrival. He was age 40, and his death was ruled that of intentional, unfortunately. So, rest in peace, Ray Combs. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the laughs. You just don't know sometimes how people are really feeling inside. This was a guy that made millions of people laugh every week, every day. He was very witty, very funny, very likable. He just ran into some troubles later on in life, and some health issues, and he just couldn't overcome them, unfortunately. So this is his dad here, Raymond Neal Sr., and then his mom, Anita Jean. She passed away in 2006. He passed away in 2010. And then Thomas Combs, I assume this may be a brother, who looks like he passed away in 2010. I think that's his brother. But yeah, great fond memories of Ray Combs. So it's really an honor to be standing here right now, paying my respects. I grew up watching this guy. If your first decade of life, or even your second or third decade of life, was in the 80s, then you definitely remember Ray Combs. He was probably one of the best, and he probably had, he could have had an awesome career if things didn't turn south for him. And it's a shame that things ended the way they did for him. I would have enjoyed his work for many years to come. But unfortunately, we just don't always know the battles that some are facing. So with that being said, rest in peace, Ray Combs. Thanks for the laughs and for the memories.
We got nowhere to be, just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through